We're here today with junior pitcher Kayla Vanna, sophomore pitcher slash outfielder Teresa Hendricks, freshman catcher Nick Lops, and sophomore outfielder Alex Lawrence. After a thrilling Ncaa Championship weekend where both the softball and baseball teams captured conference championships for the second consecutive season, both teams will be going to the Ncaa Tournament. The softball team defeated Emerson College 6-2 in a really solid victory in which Teresa pitched. Baseball came back to defeat Suffolk 7-6, trailed by 5 in the bottom of the ninth, and Nick Lops came through with the big hit, a 2-run single, as the team mobbed home plate to celebrate the championship. Teresa, let's talk with you first. An excellent year for you. I know we've kind of talked before in interviews about how last year you had to kind of sit and watch as the team did what it did this year. You played a huge role this year, tournament MVP after your pitching outing, and you swung the bat really well in the tournament. How does it feel for you personally to come through in a big way for this team this year?
I mean, watching him last year, it was kind of hard missing out on that championship and just having to sit there and watch. So it was a lot of fun being able to contribute this season and coming out with the wins.
Were you surprised that you got the MVP of the tournament?
Yeah, I actually had no idea. I was nervous.
Great. And Nick, coming in as a freshman, did you expect to play as much as you have? I know you're a confident guy, but you've had a tremendous season, led the conference in hitting this year, hitting .420 currently. Tournament MVP as well after the big hit, and you also had a couple other big hits in the tournament. How do you feel right now? Is it kind of a whirlwind of all the awards that you've received recently, and just kind of winning the championship the way we did?
Yeah, it's a great honor. I feel the awards are just kind of nice, something extra, but I'm really just proud of my team and proud of all that we've accomplished this year. It's a great group of guys, and we've done a lot of good things, and there's a lot of good things to come.
Now, Nick, coming off with the game-winning hit, you have a self-proclaimed Captain Clutch.
No.
Talk about how you got that nickname.
Kind of just me and Coach McCarthy joking around a couple times this year, and then I guess it just kind of stuck. So, I'll take it.
Self-proclaimed, doesn't seem you thought of it.
I don't really. When did it actually come about?
Nick, I think it was early in the season when you came through with a big hit, or it's been going on for a while. So it's all right though.
All right.
Where did it come from? Did it just click one day, and I'm going to call myself Captain Clutch?
Actually.
It had to come from somewhere.
Yeah, it did. Derek Jeter, actually.
Okay.
He's the real Captain Clutch.
All right.
I'm Captain Clutch Jr.
Now, Kayla, a big part of the pitching staff this year didn't get a chance to pitch in the tournament, but I'm sure your time will come here as a lot of pitching is needed to go deep into the Ncaa tournament. Part of the team last year that had a very successful run in the Ncaa regional down in Providence. How does this year compare with last?
Our team this year is phenomenal. We have so much fun together, and we knew it was going to be a great weekend when we hopped on the bus, and we were all a little tired from the athletics awards. We got on the bus, we were a little quiet, and then we grabbed the speakers and we just started having a dance party on Rodney's bus. So it was a lot of fun to go down there, and we're just so excited to get the opportunity to go back to regionals and have a great time like we always do.
Is it a different mindset this year than last? I mean, last year it was obviously awesome to be down there, but you won some games.
Yeah.
You beat some very, very good teams, and you established the softball program as one of the top in the region. What's the mindset this year?
We didn't think that we were going to do as well as we did last year. We came in third in our region, and I don't think any of us were expecting that. And this year, I think we're more in the mindset that we're going to go down and we're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to play as hard as we can, and we're going to just have the mindset that we are the best team that's going to be down there, and we're going to do our job and just do what we can, I guess.
And Al, same kind of thing. I mean, last year you played a big role as a member of the Monks. a catcher slash DH last year. Now you're playing right field. Been a huge addition as a member of that outfield. Talk about the difference between this year's team and last year's.
No offense to last year's team, but I think this year's team just kind of has an X factor. I don't really know what it is, but we figure out a way to win games. It's something every coach wants to have in a team. For some reason, this year's team has it, and it's made a huge difference. Chemistry is just through the roof. I don't know exactly what it is, but we have something.
Yeah, you guys seemingly are down after 3 innings just about every game. Doesn't matter who we're playing. It's the circumstances are different almost every game. It's seeing eye singles. It's a Bermuda Triangle pop up that falls and they score runs. But you guys always seem to come back in the end, and you did it a couple times in the tournament where you were down maybe midway through the game. A 9-inning game was on your side. How much different is it to play a 9-inning game than a 7 in those kinds of situations?
9-inning is our strong suit. 7-inning games, as you said, we're down after a couple innings most of the time. Pressure kind of gets you a little earlier. When we know 9 innings, you don't need to panic. Not that our team does panic. It's just we know that we have a little longer.
Now, both you guys can answer this question. Being down 5 runs and there was 1 out in the bottom of the 9th against Suffolk, against a left-handed pitcher who didn't have electric stuff but just kept our hitters off balance. What were you thinking? I mean, I know that there was no negative thoughts, but it did take 2 games to knock St. Joe's out of the tournament. Was there some, kind of looking at that next game, or what was the mindset there? You can be honest.
I don't know. I wasn't thinking negative. I wasn't looking forward to the next game. I knew we still had the rest of this game to go, and I know our team battles. And then knowing we've given up big innings before, it takes an error, a bloop single, a big hit, and some walks. And they kept walking guys, strung together some at bats, got a bloop single, they made an error. Next thing you know, we won. Everything happened so fast, it's hard to really think about what was going on.
Right. Now for the softball program, beating Emerson twice in the Ncaa Tournament, the top seed. They've been ranked maybe 1 or 2 slots higher than your team has been in the regional rankings about every week. I know that's a huge rivalry. And what was it like to beat them twice, including the championship game?
Awesome.
It was good.
They're like, obviously, like every time we face them, it's like we always talk about it. Like a week before we play them during the regular season, like we just talk about their game, that game. All the girls get a lot more pumped up for it, and I think seeing them in the playoffs twice this year, it just proves that we have what it takes. And I don't think a lot of people thought that we could beat them twice in a row like that, but it was a great feeling that we did. I mean, I think it was well deserved for every girl on our team.
Well, what was the difference this year, do you think? In the past, they've kind of had your number a little bit. Of course, last year, you didn't have to beat Emerson to win the conference tournament. But what was the difference this year between St. Joe's and the Lions of Emerson College, where you guys just had that extra?
I feel like it's kind of what Al said. We just have this connection this year that we trust each other completely. We know that we're going to get the job done. You can put anyone on our spot in there, and they're gonna give their heart. And I think that knowing that we will do that shows that we can beat any team that they put in front of us. So, I mean, we had a rough game against them first game, but we had to kind of get the jitters out and come away with 3 victories against them. So it felt good.
Yeah. A 6-2 score in the championship game wasn't. You had to lead the entire game. It was close for parts of it. And then there was a 4-run fourth or 4-run inning in the middle of the game. From what I've been told by other people that were at the game, that Emerson just didn't have that life really, like that we see some. The baseball program, for instance, when we're down, when St. Joe's is down, they don't get rattled. They know that there's a chance to keep coming back. It seemed like they didn't have that. Would you agree with that?
There was 1 inning they got a couple runs, but right when they started getting a little bit of that momentum, I think we just shut them down.
Yeah.
I feel like our cheering is kind of intimidating for teams too, because we like get really loud and it kind of eats them up.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I feel like I see teams get down because of our.
But I haven't seen other teams come into our stadium and do those types of things nearly as well as you guys do.
What, cheering?
Yeah.
I think part of our thing is like we all the girls have fun.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch other teams, there's the seriousness and having too much fun, but I think we find a great balance in between that, and I think that's part of our success is that all of us, we go out there and we stay relaxed the entire game and just have a good time.
So up next is the NCAA tournament for both teams. Softball, you guys, is next week. We don't know anything yet. There's so many tournaments left to be played. Baseball, pretty certain that we'll be in the New England Regional at Eastern Connecticut State in Mansfield, Connecticut, the following week, like around May 15th. Baseball. What do you guys? Al's been there before. Nick has not. Nick, what do you expect going into this kind of tournament? Now, I'm gonna give a little Chevrolet reference here. We have two Chevrolet kids here, Teresa and Nick, both Chevrolet, both representing with Ncaa Tournament MVP honors. But Nick, you guys won a state championship last year, so you've been in some tournament settings before. But what do you expect from the NCAA regional tournament?
Yeah, I don't think anything will be as big as what I'm about to face. I can't wait. I love competitive baseball. It's always better to really play the best competition, and to be the best, you got to beat the best. I'm excited to play the best teams in New England, and I look forward to it. The level of competitiveness and the great group of kids we're going down with. It's gonna be fun.
Now, both teams you guys went to the NCAA tournament last year. How are you guys sort of preparing the freshman newcomers going into the tournament? Never had this experience before. How do you prepare them for such an experience?
Ladies first.
I don't really want to tell them anything. It's kind of exciting just to go down there and not know what to expect, because last year none of us knew what we were getting into, and you walk in there and you have these badges that you have to carry around with you and specific spots you need to go for everything, and people are getting drug tested, and it's just a big, I don't know, it's kind of like Florida but 10 times better, because you could get a trophy, or like you get recognition for it, you know what I mean? You could end up going to the World Series, and it's kind of, you see it on TV, and as a kid you're just sitting there watching Arizona and Jenny Finch as you're growing up, and you realize that obviously you're not Division I, but you can get there. It's pretty crazy.
I basically tell all the freshmen to make sure they're still having fun. That we're a good team, they're good players, otherwise we wouldn't be there. So it kind of relaxes them a little, knowing that it's an accomplishment to get there, but we're not done yet. So a couple of things I would tell.
Good luck, both teams, the NCAA tournament. We'll be cheering you on, and thanks for your time here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well,